everyone. I'm Karin Edmonds from Banyan Tribe Wellness and Yoga here in Kingston, Jamaica. Welcome to episode 2 of Wellness Wednesdays. Today I wanted to talk to you a bit about the DASH diet, which is a diet that many doctors recommend for people suffering from high blood pressure or hypertension. DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. And it has been proven to help many people to control their blood pressure if it's stuck to over time. So a lot of people don't even know they have high blood pressure, and so I think it's really important for everybody, especially if you're over 50, to be checking your blood pressure regularly. Because it is something that you can have and there are no symptoms and you really don't even know that you have it, and it can, if it's uncontrolled, it can lead to a lot of health issues. Specifically, you can have a stroke, it can affect your body in a lot of different ways. So I didn't even realize that I had a problem until, my doctor diagnosed me with high blood pressure, and I also had what I called a spike incident. So my spike incident, I call it a spike, is when your blood pressure shoots up suddenly, really high. And what happened to me was I was basically just sitting at home reading. My blood pressure shot up. I didn't know what was going on at the time. I just started to feel really weird. I started to have feeling of lightheadedness and dizziness, but not exactly dizziness. I just started to feel really off and not myself. I knew something was wrong. And I said to my husband, something's not right. I almost wanted him to take me to the hospital. It was really scary, and I had no idea what was going on. So I called a doctor friend of mine who's a holistic medical doctor. And she said, oh, it's probably your blood pressure. Do you have a machine you can take it and check your blood pressure? So luckily I did have a blood pressure machine. So I checked my blood pressure and it was really high. And she told me to crush some cloves of garlic, raw garlic, mix it with about a cup of coconut water. Both of those things are known to bring down your blood pressure. And so I did that. I drank the coconut water mixed with garlic. It wasn't super yummy, but it did work. And a few hours later, my blood pressure had gone down significantly. So again, this may not work for everybody, but it did work for me. But the point is that I did go to my doctor. She did tell me that I should be on medication if my blood pressure remained high. I went to see a cardiologist, and my cardiologist confirmed that if I was able to bring down my weight and to stick to a diet that was, low in sodium and entailed all the other elements of the DASH diet, which I'll get into shortly, I could stay off the medication. So basically, I had to check my blood pressure every day and make sure that it didn't go above 130/80. So if my blood pressure goes over 130/80, then I take a pill. If it stays below 130/80, then I'm okay. So let me talk a little bit about what the key elements of the DASH diet are. And as I say, I might like to think about them more as guidelines and not as a diet per se, because a diet makes you think about something that you are only doing for a specific time. This is really guidelines for how to live ongoing, especially if you're suffering from high blood pressure. So the first thing is the diet is low in sodium. So salt is one of those things that really contributes to high blood pressure. So the DASH diet recommends that you stay below, I think it's 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. Secondly, it recommends lots of fruits and vegetables, especially fruits and vegetables that are rich in nutrients that control high blood pressure. So those would be potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Those are the 3 nutrients that are really important. As a matter of fact, a nutritionist that I worked with said to me that the key thing to control is really the balance between potassium and sodium. So you want to have lots of potassium in your diet, and you want to minimize the amount of sodium in your diet if you're trying to control your blood pressure with your diet. Potassium is actually one of those nutrients that lots of people don't get enough of. It's pretty hard to, well, I shouldn't say hard. It's a challenge to consume all the potassium that is recommended for you every day. So it's important to eat lots of foods that are rich in potassium, which are things like bananas, sweet potatoes, coconut water, foods like that that are really rich in potassium. So that's the second thing, to eat lots of fruits and vegetables that are rich in those three key nutrients: potassium, calcium, and magnesium. The third thing is whole grains, legumes, lean protein, fish, poultry. Those things are all fine in moderate amounts. You're also allowed small amounts of red meat. I personally don't eat red meat, but it's recommended to have a balance of lean protein, small amounts of good fats, good carbohydrates, and beans, legumes. All of those types of foods are great. Small amounts of sweets, and again, you can also have small amounts of nuts and seeds, which are also high in protein and other nutrients. So overall, it's a pretty balanced diet, and also in line with dietary recommendations for other lifestyle illnesses, cancer, heart disease, diabetes. It's not necessarily a way to lose weight, although you can lose weight following these guidelines depending on the calorie consumption every day. It is really guidelines to control your blood pressure. So as I mentioned, it's really important to work with your doctor, to not just enter into this on your own, to make sure that this is something that is right for you. There's no diet that's right for everybody. It works for me. I'm able to control my blood pressure with my diet and exercise. Exercise is also really important. I find that if I've done, a lot of cardio, that for a particular week, my blood pressure is lower. And also I definitely notice that when I eat lots of salt, or if I'm stressed, my blood pressure goes up. But the point is, the key takeaway today is that it is possible to manage your blood pressure with managing your lifestyle. It doesn't mean that you have to be on blood pressure medication for the rest of your life, but it is important to talk with your doctor and work with your doctor. So I hope this was helpful, and I would really recommend you looking at the DASH diet guidelines if you have been diagnosed with high blood pressure. If you are on medication for high blood pressure, maybe the dose can be lowered if you adjust your diet. But again, as I said, work with your doctor to make sure this is something that's right for you. So thank you very much for joining me this morning, and please subscribe to my channel, and have a great day. See you next week. Thank you.